everyone. Welcome back to our beautiful show. With me, as always, the great, il magnifico Luigi. Hello, Luigi. How are you?
Konnichiwa, George-san.
Oh, wow. We keep changing nationalities, Luigi. It's incredible.
It's okay. We're multicultural.
Diversified.
Let's do it. So,
Yeah.
how's it going?
It's been going, I mean, personally, I'm fine, Luigi. How about you?
Yeah, doing well.
In terms of the news,
the news are pretty grim these days, but I mean, what can you do?
We did Israel, Gaza, the terrorist attack by Hamas, the response by Israel. I think up to now it's about 5,700 dead in Gaza, the response by Israel to what has happened, which is about sixfold the death rate. I don't know where the death rate becomes. It goes to the point where success has been accomplished, Luigi. But sixfold now what the Israelis suffered by the terrorist attack.
Yeah.
What did we discuss last time? I just wanted to reiterate simply that my personal view is that there will not be any peace without the creation of a Palestinian state, because you can't oppress a people for decades and expect peace, basically. Now, what they're going to do now about Hamas, well, they haven't invaded yet. There hasn't been a land invasion, Luigi, right?
No, not yet.
I've heard that Biden is furiously working the phones to delay the invasion in order for more hostages.
Send humanitarian aid. Jack from Washington.
Send them ice cream. And allow more hostages to be released, I think is... I don't know which one is more important in their calculations, but both of them. How has the Western power? I mean, increasingly every day I hear more heads of state in the UK, the US, increasingly talking more about the humanitarian aid and defending itself under international law. And but I mean, 6,000 dead.
This is the headline we should be discussing. But I mean, here's my own view. Obviously, horrendous attack. I mean, you have to respond, right? You are a state, but like the so almost carpet bombing of civilians. I mean, in a very crowded sort of area without
bombing churches, schools,
schools, hospitals. Not sure about the hospital. Whatever. That's not even the point.
Not that hospital, but there's been other hospitals.
Yeah,
is what I'm
precisely.
Saying.
So doing that with no real way, without putting any real weight on proportionality, for example.
You could send special forces, for example.
Yeah, or on the concept of precaution, like not what's the acceptable amount of civilian casualties. I mean, that's a question somebody should be asking. It seems it's not really being asked right now. And I mean,
And I'm tired of a few things, Luigi. I'm tired of hearing the bullshit in general now. I don't want to go on about the history of this, but the history, of course, it's important about what is happening. But in general, I'm tired of hearing the bullshit that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. Bullshit, Luigi. Bullshit. How can an apartheid state be a fucking democracy, people? It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And I've heard enough. I've heard enough. Enough is enough. If people actually want to have a solution to this whole thing, there has to be equitability between the two peoples. They have to be treated equitably. And I mean, with the United States, as you've said at the helm, this is impossible to happen because the United States has long been a very strong advocate of one side of this conflict. Sorry, Luigi.
No. I mean, 100%. And I mean, every time, I mean, obviously the UN is a body, it is an organization without any real teeth. But
yes.
Like even
but
when
it's the best global organization we have, people. It's the best we have. It's the best that this humanoid species has been able to produce.
the point is, like, if the US is just, as it has been, basically always supporting Israel, none of the UN, condemnations sort of humanitarian.
Yes, because the thing that actually makes the decisions in the UN is the Security Council, of which, of course, the US is a permanent member of, and they vetoed the last resolution.
Exactly.
They vetoed the last one. The only ones.
Even if the UN decries it all day, as long as the US has Israel's back, nothing sticks. essentially.
Should we discuss the stupid EU foreign ministers? The EU, Luigi.
Charles Michel.
Oh, ooh la la. They have decided, ooh la la, they have decided, all 27 of them. Let me find the article.
There we are.
The Luigi, our foreign minister, the EU foreign minister cannot just go by the name of foreign minister. They use high representative for foreign
affairs, Josep
Borrell. He has said that there has been consensus around the issue at the meeting of the EU ministers in Luxembourg. And they have decided that...
Sorry. Wait. Tell me how this makes sense. The way I'm reading this is, let's stop the bombing for a little bit, just so we give them some water, and then you can resume. Am I reading it right?
Yes.
What does a humanitarian pause mean?
A pause so that ice cream can be delivered to the bombarded peoples of Gaza.
As good a reason as any.
But the funny thing is that he already admitted that the EU could not decree a temporary cessation in hostilities, but he said the statement would help send a message to Israel in the same way Joe Biden's message about the importance of restraint appears to have helped delay a ground invasion of Gaza. My God, Jesus Christ. Bullshit all around, Luigi.
Honestly, what I find hard to believe is how everyone, and I'm talking about the international community, the EU included, how everyone has been so one-sided on this. It's like Israel has our unconditional support. We're like, obviously, yes, they were attacked. But
I think
what does unconditional support mean? Is it okay to bomb civilians? I mean,
exactly.
Where do we draw the line?
I think they were caught back-footed by the degree of atrocities that was inflicted on Israel. They didn't expect this.
I mean, everyone agrees. I'm not.
Obviously,
I'm not even discussing that because
we've already discussed
that's a terrorist organization. I mean, I'm not going to hold them to the same standard as a state.
Of course, and it does not represent every fucking person in Gaza, especially every fucking under 15-year-old. How many were there? 30% of the population or something.
40% is under the age of 14, 50%.
Are they responsible? Are the under 14s responsible? I mean, what the fuck is this shit? And then it's ridiculous. I just wanted to note that there was some disagreement within the EU, and EU members, including France, Spain, the Netherlands, Ireland. Ireland is always solid on this. Slovenia and Luxembourg have also backed the idea of a humanitarian pause. The ones that were that were more tentative about this was Germany, interestingly, and Austria and a few others, Czech Republic, etc. But yeah, that's bad with Germany, dude. I increasingly am. Why can they not make a right decision, a foreign policy-wise?
I don't know.
Every fucking decade, they make the wrong decision. I understand that, but Germany is really personal because they're the ones who did the last Holocaust. And
I mean, there might be some element of that playing out, right?
But still, the humanitarian,
on humanitarian purposes, nothing. I mean,
Jesus Christ, we discussed how tepid this whole statement is for Germany not to be able to back it. It's a bit ridiculous. Whatever. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about this.
Yep. So the reason I find this a farce is the wording. Like,
I mean, look at what he's holding.
You could say a ceasefire. Like there's he's holding a bell, whatever.
I mean, it's a farce. It's a farce. It's a clown show.
And look at that look. That
consensus achieved.
So
the EU has spoken, people. Gaza saved.
Call it a ceasefire. Why are we changing the language in George Carlin's eternal message? Why is the language getting softer? It's a ceasefire. Stop the fire.
Yeah.
Humanitarian pause. Now it's 2 words and it's more complicated. It doesn't even sound better.
Fair enough. I appreciate your linguistic observation. Do you want to go to the interview?
Oh yeah,
because it's a glorious one.
Splendid interview. This man is a Jedi Master gone on the Piers Morgan show.
I found the best description ever. A Jedi Master. Yeah. I heard that he's
I
a
mean,
friend
we
of
kind
Jon
of get up.
Stewart, Luigi. I heard that he's a friend of Jon Stewart's.
He seems like a friend of Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart seems to be the only sane person left around the show business.
Did you hear that his show got cancelled yesterday, Luigi?
The Apple show?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It got cancelled because, as far as I've heard, Apple didn't want it to delve on the topics of AI and China that were upcoming.
My God.
Yeah,
Is that
and they
true?
put the plug. Yeah, as far as I've heard, I've read it. I think in legit
Well, I mean,
news
if it's
stories.
Jon Stewart, I'm sure he's gonna find like
He
networks are gonna be begging
walked.
him.
Yeah, they told
Yeah,
him
yeah.
that you're not gonna do the AI and China,
And
and
he's
he
like,
walked.
fuck you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
come on
mean,
YouTube, John. Come on YouTube.
if Jon Stewart does that with the following he has, like he can become
the king of YouTube,
of
Stewart.
YouTube.
John. Come on, John. Join the dark side.
We don't pay well. What was it? There was a joke in one of his shows, and it was like,
Yeah.
join the good team. We don't really pay well, but you can sleep at night.
Nice. Although I fear they also sleep at night. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the issue with
Let's
the
watch
really
that.
bad guys.
Let's watch Jedi Master, John's friend.
Bassem Youssef.
Yes.
News kind of also secondhand because, you know, my wife's family, they live in Gaza. If you have cousins and uncles there, and their house also was bombed. We haven't been able to communicate with them for the past 3 days. Communication are lost. So we don't know actually what is the how are they doing, but you know, we're used to that. I mean, it's just like it's very repetitive. We're used to that. We're used to them being bombed every time and moving from one place to the other. You know, it's just like those Palestinians. They're very dramatic. Israel killing us. But they never die. I mean, they always come back. You know, they're very difficult to kill, very difficult people to kill. I know because I'm married to one. I tried many times, couldn't kill her.
My God.
I mean, there's a dark humor there, and I understand why. Because
it's not dark humor. I try to get to her every time, but she uses our kids as human shields.
My God. Wow.
Slam
My
dunk.
God, who is this
again,
guy?
I
Who
understand
is
the humor, but to be serious, Bassem, about this tonight,
I would be serious. Now, I would be serious. I was watching your interview with Ben Shapiro, and I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I think that Ben Shapiro is one of the smartest people who ever walked this earth. He's very, very smart. I follow him, and I believe everything he said. And when he
The Messiah, Ben Shapiro,
the missile incoming. It's been prepped.
190 IQ points, Ben Shapiro.
Over 9,000 Benny Boy Shapiro.
It's really funny because like people for some reason really praise Ben Shapiro's intelligence.
My God, I want to kill myself, Luigi.
At some point in this video, they're going to call over like Ben Shapiro's co-CEO, whatever, like the guy running his company.
Ben Shapiro's ball massager.
Yeah, but that's a great. I was gonna go with shoe polisher, but whatever. I mean,
speed shiner.
the guy, like Piers Morgan asks him, like, what do you think Ben Shapiro thinks about this? He's like, I wouldn't presume to speak for Ben. Ben has 20 IQ points on me, and he talks publicly for a living.
Yeah, cool.
Like, my God, man, you've gotten so good at cocksucking that.
I mean, you do it so well. He does it so well. I'm wearing off.
You just called yourself stupid, basically.
Yeah.
Or, and I actually looked it up, presumably Ben Shapiro has 140 IQ. So the guy was basically saying that he has 120 IQ.
I think Ben 150 is silly. Ben 150. Tim Pool, possibly in the 160 range, possibly. They're all very, very, very smart. Jordan Peterson breaks the 200 easily.
Jordan Peterson, I'm actually curious about this.
Yeah, it's probably 55. Let's watch this.
Yeah, let's do it.
He came out on your show. His solution was, and I quote, his solution was, that the solution for this is for Israel to annex Gaza and to kill as many son of bitches as possible to make sure that this will never happen again. And anyone who called for a ceasefire will be a terrorist sympathizer. So God forbid, I don't want to be labeled as a terrorist sympathizer. So I agree with Ben Shapiro. I think we should kill as many son of bitches as possible.
Well, let me.
So
Okay.
far,
Bassem, let me.
so far, 3,500 people were killed, including 5,000 son of bitches in the bombing of
Almost 6,000 by today, as we mentioned.
Yeah, sons of
The back-
bitches, as Benny Boy calls it. Nice.
Mhm.
The philosopher of the
The-
right, I hear.
The philosopher king.
Yes, yeah.
hospital as we speak right now. 1/3 of those 3,500 were children. So my question to Ben Shapiro is, how many more son of bitches do we need to kill so Ben Shapiro is happy?
Okay,
My
Because it
God.
all of
changes
them.
one year.
My
All
God,
of them.
he's so good, by the way. That is exactly what fucking Ben Shapiro alludes to in whatever the fuck he preaches for. And I mean, just want to add the philosopher boy king.
It's true. And I mean, seriously, he's been paraded all over the media. Like for some
Of
reason,
course.
Ben Shapiro is suddenly like
And to be fair,
the mouth of God. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's got shitloads of fucking dark money behind him, but he does get watched by a lot of people as well.
But he
at this
speaks.
point.
He speaks professionally for a living. He's so smart.
The voice of it, the philosopher boy king.
The philosopher king, voice of God.
We usually shit on Tim Pool, but we don't usually shit on Benny Boy. He's just as bad, of course.
It's
Then
changes
say-
from what.
then
Let-
just-
I'm sorry that. This is it. I'm really at a disadvantage here. I'm looking at the camera. I don't see you. I can hear you on my.
And the
ears.
reason I'm interrupting
please
is
give
I
me
think
a
it
little
might
bit
be.
of a space.
I think you're conflating different interviews with Ben Shapiro. He didn't use the phrase "sons of bitches" with me. Let me play to you what he actually
didn't
He
said
did.
on my.
He did. He did. Go back to your
No,
interview.
he didn't. That was another interview. But let me play what he said to me here.
Well, frankly, I don't believe in proportionate response to terrorism. I believe that the way that you stop terrorism is with wildly disproportionate response. That doesn't mean in terms of targeting civilians. It means in terms of killing as many terrorists as humanly possible and allowing them to dictate the terms of engagement by hiding behind civilians in areas that they're supposedly responsible for means that the only option for Israel is to surrender to Hamas's hatred of its own citizens.
Yeah. Because if you don't shoot
But by
the
the
guy
way,
hiding behind
exactly.
a civilian,
Exactly. So what is
Yeah.
he advocating for? Killing civilians.
yeah,
Because
killing
that-
civilians. That's exactly what
yeah.
he said. He's like, I'm not for killing civilians,
But I want to kill civilians. Yeah.
Is
Nice.
to use its own children as human shields. No country worth its salt could ever do that.
Now that is significant. So
I mean, that's what 140 IQ points looks like. Advocating basically for genocide. I mean,
Bravo, Luigi. You nailed it. That is what 140 points like. That's what it looks like.
And by the way, Jordan Peterson is supposedly has 156 IQ,
had
precisely
200.
measured.
202 easily, and he would blame the trans people. 100% the trans would
Later
blame.
on, he mentioned his IQ was now 145 due to age.
And all the
see
beef that he's been consuming.
I see a pattern of 140 IQs and
yeah. Oh, you've got something on your side, Luigi. We'll
it's like
keep
correlation
that on note.
implies
Yeah.
causation.
We gotta watch the 140s people.
Yeah.
That's
There's
the
the
danger
140
zone.
IQ people you gotta be careful of.
The
The
danger
quiet
zone.
ones. Or the not so quiet ones, excuse me.
Yeah.
substantively different to what you said he said, right? He's talking there
But I
specifically
agree.
about
I agree
How,
with it. I
Piers?
agree.
How
I
the
agree
fuck
with
is
him.
it
The
effectively
thing is, the
different?
question is, what is a proportionate response? Because
Yes.
it has been different from one tier to another. So if you look to this graph, for example, this is the death of Israeli and Palestinians.
This is exactly what I call proportion.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking shit. Look at this.
The fact that he has
shit.
it on an actual piece of paper is
And
also like a wonderful.
obviously, but I mean, look at this. This is the history of
The
fucking
fact that
Israel.
the marker is pink is even better. Yeah, but let the guy.
And it's changing from one year to year. It's like fluctuating like crypto. So my question is today, what is the going rate today for human life? I mean, 2014 was a great year for Ben Shapiro. 88 Israelis were dying,
God.
and there was 2,329 Palestinians killed on the other side. That is one Israeli for 27 Palestinians. That is a very good exchange rate. What I'm saying is, what is
A
the
great exchange rate, rivaled only by the Turkish lira. I'm sorry.
exchange rate
Well,
today,
well,
so you guys will be happy? That's my question.
Well, it's not me. It's
want
not
to
me,
know.
guys. I'm not on either
No,
side.
no, not you. Like when I
Yeah.
say you guys, I say like the people on the other side of that. I know that you don't think like that. You're one of the good guys. But let me tell you something. I mean, the reason that I'm using this is that I mean I can't remember what happened in 2014, and there was no music festival. But there must be something. I mean, they must do something. It is their fault. It has to be something. I mean, 2018, 300 Palestinians died. Who's counting? You know. So the thing is, what my question is, let's find what is the exchange rate for human life today, so we know, expect the future death of Palestinians, and we'll be happy to it.
My response to that would be this, Bassem. I thought carefully about this because I think it's
Wow.
very tricky.
Wow.
People
Wow.
like
Wow.
me
Wow.
to immerse
High
ourselves.
level ideas are incoming, Luigi.
The fact that Pierce thinks is beyond me. No, I mean,
News flash.
Breaking
news.
conflict where we're not directly involved. And I thought carefully about what I feel about this. I feel that the scale of what Hamas did on October the 7th supersedes anything else I've seen in this conflict, really ever. The savagery, the butchery, the slaughter of 1,300 people.
It was.
the shooting
I
of
just want to
babies.
say that it was savagery. Obviously, it was savage.
everybody agrees.
We called
Obviously,
them a terrorist
condemn-
organization. For fuck's sake.
they are terrorists. I mean, it's that nobody's debating that. It's,
Yeah, but I've seen videos of fucking atrocious shit, fucking unbelievable.
but I mean,
bad shit.
taking the moral justification out of a terrorist act and being like,
to
I'm
bomb
gonna,
a people, for
yeah.
fuck's sake. To
I mean,
bomb an
it's called collective punishment for a reason.
of a people that has been excessively collectively punished already.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fucking
of a people
disgusting.
that knows exactly, yeah. And by people that know exactly what collective punishment means, that's the saddest.
Yeah, that is the saddest part, and the part that is very tricky to discuss as well, Luigi.
I know, and I mean, I'm not expecting to go into depth on it, but I mean, you have to
We'll bring a
the
rabbi.
elephant in the room.
We'll bring a rabbi.
But I mean, no matter the scale of a terrorist attack, that doesn't mean you have to reply, 10-fold, 100-fold. If it was up to Ben Shapiro, they would be using nukes right now.
Fuck Ben.
Or they wouldn't be using nukes. Yeah.
They're already 6-fold in their response up to this point. And
the
no
only
sign of
reason-
stopping. If they actually
the
go
only reason-
ground assault on this shit, it's gonna go, God knows, the casualties and the Israeli casualties as well in the army. It's gonna be catastrophically bad.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no digging yourself out of this mess. Like Netanyahu has to respond.
Yeah,
He's the security guy.
Obviously. It's gonna go apeshit bad.
I guess the way you project strength domestically is with having a high body count on the
100%. Some of those deep shits in the cabinet, those fucking insane fucking lunatics, want to annex shit right now. And, the Gaza and the rest. It's gonna go extremely well. Who knows?
By the way, I mean, Gaza
all
is
our hopes
extremely,
lie on Jack.
Gaza is extremely small in terms of map size. It's
As
45 square kilometers.
As you said, it's extremely densely populated.
Miles.
It's extremely densely populated.
It's 30 square miles, which is
it's an open-air prison, basically.
Yeah.
And has been for a long while.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I sometimes try to put myself in the shoes of like a 15-year-old kid that's getting bombed somewhere right now with them having absolutely nothing to do with this. And that's what horrifies me, man.
Yeah, they've mentally destroyed a whole generation of children. The ones that are even going to make it out of this.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, go after Hamas, but do it.
Yeah, use special forces, asshole.
Yeah, I mean, do it in a targeted way, not.
But anyway, they're not willing.
Way.
They're not willing to be reasonable about this, as we've discussed. I mean, the people. Yeah. Should we go on?
Yeah, let's watch a bit.
Kidnapping a grandma and so on. So if we can agree on that, which I think is inarguable, then the question then becomes again about proportion. I don't disagree that there's been a lot of bad stuff on both sides going back historically for decades. But if we agree that this was on a different level altogether, quite deliberately by Hamas, designed
absolutely.
designed
You know what?
to provoke.
I'm gonna,
designed to provoke.
I'm
Here's my
gonna
question.
be.
Let me ask you a question. And the question
What's
was,
the question?
you raised it earlier about proportion. I honestly don't know what the proportionate response is.
Yes.
I honestly don't. I don't. I've been watching the airstrikes
So
this
what's your
week
question?
thinking.
So what's your question?
Well, I was
What's the
asked.
question?
I would ask you, if you were Israel, what would
If I was Israel,
if you were Israel and that had happened to you, what would you think would be the appropriate way for the country to respond?
I would do exactly like Israel did, kill as many people as possible, since the world is letting me do it. I mean, I can do it because I can, you know. But the thing is, you know what?
Might is a right argument. Going full Andrew Tate on Pierce. Sorry.
I agree with you. And you know what? I'm going to be even ahead of you, because I see the question coming. Do you condemn Hamas for the atrocity? Yes, I condemn Hamas. I condemn Hamas. I condemn Hamas is the source of all evil. They're a reason for everything. And you know what? Let's for a minute imagine a world without Hamas.
Right.
What will this word look like? Let's give this word a name, and let's name this word the West Bank. Hamas has absolutely no control of the West Bank. And this is the beginning of this year. Only through August, 37 Palestinian kids were killed. No music festival, no paragliding, no Hamas. Since the occupation of the West Bank, 7,000 Palestinians were killed. No music festival, no paragliding, no Hamas.
The man makes a solid argument.
Yes, and I think we've heard enough,
At this point. I love his comedic angle. I mean, the guy
he's great.
must be friends with Jon Stewart.
A Jedi master, as we said.
So,
and I want to say, you need the context for this. You need context. Should we finish up with Argentina?
Argentina, wow.
With glorious Argentina.
Glorious.
Won the World Cup, won our hearts. What else is left? The fucking far-right troglodyte didn't
How
win.
long has it been since we went bankrupt?
Oof, I think it's been decades now.
Have you looked at the currency lately?
Yeah, I know, Luigi. But I mean, we have to go in depth about Argentina and the whole. If you wanna do some in depth shit about Argentina's economy, because Argentina's economy is so interesting. It's a special fucking economy, isn't it? It's one of those.
It's as special as Japan is.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's got Ireland, Japan, Argentina. But we hope
it's a case study in itself.
And I mean, as Luigi alludes to, because of this economic situation that Argentina has found itself in. I mean, and you have to also take into account that Argentina is in the G20, isn't it, as a country? So it's a pretty big country, an important country that has big economic problems as well, and has had them for a while now. And you can see that there was a far right lunatic, basically. I think the polls were coming out that he was going to win the election without the runoff either. That he was going to win outright from the first vote. In the end, he got less votes than the Peronist candidate, the center-left, whatever candidate, better than the far-right lunatic. And it seems that there's a very big chance that he won't be able to win the election. Now, we still got to see what happens in the runoff, because even though the centrist rival got ahead, even though he got ahead, we've got the third candidate, who's the center-right candidate, and I think she's gonna endorse the far-right one. She's gonna endorse Milei. So we'll have to see how it works out in the end, right?
Yeah, look, it's the same thing happening across the globe. Different editions of it, but
different editions of Trump. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's different flavors of racism.
This one is particularly funny. This one, by the way.
How so?
And he goes on rants against the Pope because the Pope is Argentinian and he doesn't want him elected.
An oddball economist who has called climate change a socialist lie. I love this guy.
Already you can tell.
I mean, different flavors of Trumpism around the world.
They all hate the windmills. We hate the windmills.
And I mean, you have to understand that this doesn't happen by chance. This is directly the result of 4 decades of shit economics falling living standards, basically, for the vast majority of the population across the world, especially the developed nations.
Go on, Liv.
So what's happened across the developed world, especially, is that the middle class has basically collapsed following 4 to 5 decades of deregulation, excessive concentration of power on businesses being allowed to buy politicians openly,
Financialization.
the financialization of the world. So that ultimately that results in falling living standards, and falling living standards bring about the far right, the appeal of the far right.
Of the stupid, and if you want some
Yeah,
numbers, 40% of Argentina's 47 million citizens living in poverty amid triple-digit inflation. If you want some flavors of this idiot, he describes himself as an anarcho-capitalist, the best capitalist.
Anarcho-capitalist, like for people that have no idea what that means.
He wants to abolish the central bank, loosen gun laws, and even legalize
government
the...
shouldn't even be doing street lighting for you in an anarcho-capitalist system. You're supposed to buy your street lighting from
It's the stupidest of all stupid theories. It's the apex of fucking creditism. And he wants to...
jungle, I like to call it jungle capitalism, because that's what it basically is.
And he wants to legalize the sale of human organs. Have an organ. Nice. And
how would you like a kidney with your meal?
Lula, I think, sent a message to the centrist who actually got more votes. He told him, very formidable, Luis Inacio Lula da Silva.
What a name. Formidable, my friend.
The legend. So let's go with that. Let's end on another piece of good news, Luigi.
Okay, let's end on something,
positive.
As always, I mean, we try to see the bright side of every shitty situation.
Yes. So see you next week, guys.